YouTube! If you follow my channel, you might have seen last month I did a video, same title as this obviously, talking about all the great pieces of theatre that I managed to see in the month. As I've actually been living in London this month, I have been able to see quite a bit more than I have done most months this year, so I'm going to crack straight on with it. At the very end of November I went to a cabaret at Above the Arts Theatre, and that was Jacqueline Hughes and guests as well. When I first started seeing Wicked, Jackie was a swing in the show, so I got to know her through that. She also then went on to understudy Madame Morrible and Elphaba in London, and then went on to be Stand by Elphaba on the Wicked UK tour as well. She's currently in Mary Poppins on tour, but she had this little cabaret at Above the Arts Theatre, and it was so lovely to see her do something like this. It's the first time she's done a cabaret of her own, so it must be quite a nerve-wracking experience, but she pulled it off. It was brilliant. Her guests were amazing. She had Ollie Brennan, who was also in Wicked, Carolyn Maitland, who was in Miss Saigon, and her best friend Lindsay Gardner, who is currently in the Phantom of the Opera. It was just a really lovely relaxed afternoon with amazing performances, so I definitely recommend checking out Above the Arts Theatre for the cabarets they do. The first show that I saw this month was Kinky Boots. This was the fourth time I've seen this show now, I think it's my fourth time. I absolutely love it. This show is so heartwarming and so fun, and you just leave wanting to dance, so definitely recommend it, and it seems to be just getting better and better as it goes on. The day after seeing Kinky Boots, I went to see Jest End at the Waterloo East Theatre. I was very excited to see this. They had a great little cast, and the show is so funny. If you know of Forbidden Broadway, it's like the West End version of that. But Gary Lake, who writes it all, is just a genius. It's so funny. I've got a vlog from going there with a couple of clips from the show, which I was allowed to film, so I'll link that up here and below, so you can go check that out if you want to. And I think there's a few videos online as well on Gary Lake's channel, so definitely go and give those a watch if you're a West End fan, because the parodies are just hilarious. The cast was only made up of 4 people, but they were so great. In particular, I love Jodie Jacobs. I think she is so brilliant at what she does, and in this show she was just perfect. The week after, I went to see The Book of Mormon. I've only seen this once before, and it was about a year and a half ago now. No, more like almost 2 years since I've last seen it. I saw it in February 2014, basically. The only reason I haven't gone to see the show again is because the ticket prices are so expensive that I would rather try the lottery, but oftentimes I'm in London already seeing something else, or I've day sat for something, and then doing the lottery is a bit redundant when I already have tickets for something else. But my friend won the lottery for me, so we went to go and see that, and it was just so funny. Honestly, it's the most ridiculous and like crude show, but it is hilarious how they do it. Everyone is so talented in it as well. It's a very full-on show. We went on I think it was a Tuesday night, and the audience was just great. Like, you can expect really amazing audiences on, say, like a Friday and a Saturday, like especially the night performances, but for a Tuesday, it was amazing. It was so good. The day after seeing Book of Mormon, I just really fancied seeing Matilda. Matilda is one of my favourite musicals. It just really is a lovely show. I just really love it a lot. I last saw Matilda in July, and since then they've had a cast change in September, so a lot of the people that I'd really enjoyed watching in it had left the show, unfortunately. So it was very interesting to see like a completely fresh take on the show, basically. Nevertheless, I of course really enjoyed it. It's one of those shows that it doesn't matter who's in it, because I will love it regardless. I'm always in awe of the children in that show. They are so talented, it's unreal. I wish I could be as talented as them. This month I also went to see Phantom of the Opera again. Phantom is not one of those shows that I will always want to go and see all the time. I went through a phase of seeing Wicked a lot. Those who know me will remember those times. But with Phantom of the Opera, I think because it's quite a heavy show, it's not one that I would go and see on a monthly kind of basis. However, whilst I was at work that day, had a little check on Twitter and saw that Kieran Brown was going to be on as the Phantom, and this is the first time since he's been in the show that I've actually been able to go and see him. Of course I wasn't going to miss out on that opportunity. Luckily I managed to pick up a ticket for I think it was £26 at the back of the stall, so it was a really good view considering, and I didn't care where I sat, I just really wanted to see Kieran as the Phantom, and he was so good. I'm so proud of him. I mentioned it in my favourite theatre moments. It's so amazing to watch people achieving their dreams, because I know how much he wanted this role. So to see him playing it after us talking about it years ago, and how he was so excited to be part of this company. It was just, I cried a lot. Let's put it at that. That night as well, after seeing Phantom of the Opera, I went to Kinky Cabaret at Freedom Bar in Soho. I hadn't been to Kinky Cabaret in a while, purely because obviously when you don't live in London it's quite hard to go to these late night things. It's always on after the shows because generally they'll have performers who are in shows performing at it afterwards. So I went along to that and it was really great because Kieran, bless him, having just done a Phantom show, was performing in that as well. And my friend Chloe, who's currently in Kinky Boots, she was performing as well. So it was amazing to see them and just have a good little night out. If you're overage and want to stage your night out, Kinky Cabaret on a Monday night at Freedom Bar Soho. And finally, the last show that I saw this month was Bend It Like Beckham. I had yet to see this. I have to admit I was quite apprehensive of it. I wasn't sure whether I was going to really enjoy it or not. They put out a promotional video before the show opened and just from that alone I was a bit put off. I like to give shows a chance. Even if I think I'm not going to like them, I want to base my own opinion on it. So I went along with my friend Samar. We managed to get last minute front row day seats, which was amazing. They were £15, but the stage is very high, so if you're not a regular theatre goer, I'd recommend seeing what they've got a bit further back because the stage is very close and very high, so you might not enjoy the show as much if you can't see it all. For me, it really isn't that much of an issue. I saw once at the Phoenix Theatre a lot from the front row, so I'm used to that stage and how high it is. It wasn't a problem. I'm really glad that I went to see the show finally because I really enjoyed it. It's a very fun show. I often go to see quite heavy shows, very emotionally draining and ones that you really get emotionally involved in. To go to something that is so fun and literally light, I mean the fairy lights in that set, I'm all over it. I want a house covered in fairy lights. So yeah, I'm really glad I went because now it's not a show that I will rush back to, but I at least know it's one that I enjoy and can recommend to people. Do let me know if you've seen any of the shows that I've mentioned or if you want to see any of the shows. Let's have a little chat about it in the comments. That would be lovely. If you've liked this video, please do give it a like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye! It's a thing that I aspire to be. I have been through a lot of hard times, so now when things are going right I appreciate them so much more.